Hello and greetings. So, I have a story time. And this story time brings back so many bad memories, and I just, I don't know why this came to my mind while I was out and about while ago paying bills. I have to go pay my rent in a little while. But anyway, yeah, so a long time ago when my daughter was still in elementary school and I was in a relationship with that dude, my ex of 5 years. He and I had just got together, but it had been like 2 or 3 months, and we were still together. So another dude that I used to mess with saw us standing side by side. And me and my ex was just standing outside waiting for my daughter's school bus to come. The dude that I used to mess with before I met my ex of 5 years drove by in a car, a raggedy ass car, looked at me and him. Then he stuck his head out the window and said to me, "You think you all that? You ain't shit. You hoe. You slut. You $2 hoe. You bitch." Just calling me all kinds of names. My ex of 5 years, who was standing right there on the side of me. Because after this dude got through cussing me out and calling me all these names, he drove away, speeded off. And then my ex of 5 years turned and looked at me and said, "Oh, that's the dude that you used to mess with. You sure you not still fucking on him? You sure nothing going on between you and him? Because why you did that?" I said, "You been at my house all the time. You live with me. How am I still messing with him?" He's like, well, it's got to be some reason why he did that. I said, he did that because he's jealous. Because I'm not with his raggedy ass no more. And why you just stood there and looked, and you supposed to be my nigga. You supposed to be my man. He's like, shit. That's between you and him. And you must have still had been talking to him. I walked off. Well, no, I didn't. Let me see. I walked away from him because at that particular time, my daughter's school bus drove up. I got her off the school bus, and then me and her walked home. And so, he walked past us talking about he about to go to the corner store and get him a cigarette because his nerves bad. I said, whatever, do you. And then he gonna look at me and tell me, "What's wrong with you?" I ain't say nothing. So once me and my daughter got in the house, 10 minutes later, he comes showing up. And then he says, "I'm about to go walk around there where that dude stayed, and I'm finna tell him something." I said, what you gonna tell him? Because you had plenty of time to say something to him when you heard him calling me all those names, and you just stood there. And you supposed to be my nigga. I say, do you have any idea how that makes you look? You my man, and you heard him calling me $2 hoe, bitch, slut, and all these other names. And he kept saying the word hoe and this and that. And you stood there and you just didn't say anything. So now you telling me you about to go walk around there and say something to this motherfucker when you had plenty of time to say something to him a while ago? He's like, "Well, I'm about to go say something to him." Damn. I said, since you say you about to go say something to him, go ahead and then tell me how it went. So he left the house, stayed gone for 30 minutes. Came back in, still puffing on the same cigarette, talking about, yeah, I seen that nigga. He was sitting on the porch with his peoples. And I told him, whatever he got to say to you, don't say it to you, say it to me. And I told him, do not fuck with you because you my woman. And then he said that the dude kept saying, get your money up, get your money up. He said he told the dude, the only thing you about to do is drive around in that same raggedy car out of the apartment complex and then drive back in the apartment complex. You know, you don't be going nowhere because you don't have no job. You don't do shit. I'm like, okay. I was just listening to him, but the more that I listened to him, the more I got mad. And I told him, I said, I just made up something. I said, my sister called me while you was gone. And she said that she's going to have somebody to come fix her stove tomorrow morning. And she need me to sit at her house and wait till they come fix her stove. So I said, you go pack some of your clothes and go to your sister's house tonight. And we'll be back tomorrow after I'm done house sitting for my sister. And so he said, what you mean? That don't make no sense what you saying. He's like, he was telling me, oh, you putting me out? I said, I'm not putting you out. I said, I told you what's going to take place. So like I said, you need to go. You need to go. You can't stay here while I'm not here. Well, I live here too. I said, I don't give a damn. So shortly, 7 o'clock came. And he packed 2 outfits. And he got on his bike and he left. Mad, which I didn't give a damn. And then me and my daughter didn't go anywhere. I just stayed there. I even called Terrell and told him to pull up, which he didn't. But I was just mad because, like, this dude, like, he needs to understand. I let him move in with me when I didn't have to. He's not helping me pay rent, light bill, or anything. And he's going to just stand there and be less of a man and just watch and listen to somebody cuss me out. And he didn't say anything to defend me. So that hurt a lot. There's other situations that have happened where this man that I used to be involved with, supposed to be in a relationship with me, but he would sit there and just let me get talked to any kind of a way. I remember one day, me and him went to go visit one of his older sisters on Christmas Day. And she called herself trying to punk me in front of him. He should have spoke up for me then too, but this particular situation, I just expected him to say something to the dude right in front of my face. For him to tell me, right after it's over with, I'm about to go around the corner and say something to him, it's too late. And how I know he even went around the corner to where the dude stayed to even say something to him, he probably just lied. Because he was just afraid that I was going to put him out, which I was thinking about putting him out. There have been times when me and Terrell would be texting each other in the middle of the night while he was asleep, and I wanted to wake him up and tell him to leave so that Terrell can come see me. I wanted to do a bunch of grimy stuff to him because as a man, he just was not doing anything. He only had one job, working at the car wash while he was living with me, and then The majority of the time while he was still living with me, he didn't do anything. Like, that was the most scariest boyfriend I ever had in my life. Come home from being out all night with black eyes and busted lips. Then he was talking about marrying me while he was in prison. I was never going to let that happen because I was not even being faithful to him while he was in prison. I was doing me because I got tired of sitting around waiting on him to do right. But yeah, that's just a story time about how I was in a relationship with somebody who stood there next to me and listened to somebody call me all kind of hoes and bitches, and they didn't do anything to defend me, but pretended like they was going to do something about it because they were scared that I was going to kick them out of my house, which I have. I have kicked him out of my house maybe about 4 or 5 times, and he deserved it. I let him back in, but still, he should have stayed out. But I'm about to end this video. Hope y'all enjoyed the story time. Maybe y'all can relate to the story time. It's a very true story. But until I post my next video, until then, y'all stay blessed.